My name is Adrian Terry, and I'm joined today by Don Middleton, a candidate for District 3 of the Moriarty Edgewood School Board. There's an election coming up here in November, just a couple of weeks away, and we want to take the opportunity to introduce Don to the community. I know that the town commissioners had a candidate forum just recently, but there has been no such process for the school board candidates, and you may not have had an opportunity to introduce yourself to many members of our community. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Don.
Yeah, I think that was unfortunate that school board members did not get a forum. I would have liked to introduce myself and say what I stand for. Again, my name is Dawn Middleton. I am a Chicago native. Lived there all my life until about 4 years ago when I moved to Edgewood, which I love this community, the warm weather, and happy to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your organizing principles and your ideas for the school board and reasons that you are running for office.
Sure. So obviously a big reason is because the proficiency scores are so low, right? I've seen that, and I think that we can do much better. One thing I want to do is start with the young kids, the kids in grade school. That's where we need to start. It starts there and it only grows from there. And being as that I come from laboratory, math and science is near and dear to my heart. So they've got some programs. I talked to Mr. Bibiano, who is the superintendent. They've got some programs coming in place for reading, which I think will really help. However, math, not so much. So I have some great ideas to get the kids engaged and to maybe get the teachers engaged to start not only understanding math a little bit better, but enjoying math. And I think that will really help boost those scores.
And the teachers play a very important role in the education of our children because they're the ones who interact with them day to day. But as a policymaker for the school board, what sort of policies do you support?
Again, that's kind of a tough question, right? Because a lot of the policies come from the public education department and some of the other governing bodies. So it's kind of hard to write policy, although we have some opportunity to tweak them and customize them a little bit. However, you can get the teachers engaged. You can remove some of the obstacles and barriers from the teacher and boost them and support them to make some of these programs better.
And some of our policymakers reside in the state legislature. What's your plan to coordinate and communicate with these folks?
I think that's a great opportunity to reach out to the state representatives, Mr. Schmiedes and Mr. McQueen, yes. And also our local people, right? Local people in Santa Fe, our local commissioners, to work on using them as resources to also boost some of these programs and get some help there.
Speaking of the local commission, the Edgewood Commission I know has been involved in an active dispute with the school board concerning the use of a building where the town commission is currently located. What are your plans to coordinate with the town commission so that we can share resources for facilities that are clearly intended for the benefit of all of us who live here?
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a shame that there's been such a fight or divide between the two communities and the commission and the school board. So there's definitely been a precedent for other buildings here that have been repurposed for other opportunities for the community, and I don't see why this building can't be the same. It seems like a lot of waste of money to tear it down when there's opportunity we can use for preschool or daycare or even summer camps and other options that can earn the community money. My goal is to kind of try to work on that divide, right? Bring these communities together and smooth out that
conflict.
Yeah, that conflict. I don't like conflict. I'm a proponent of conflict resolution.
And sometimes interpersonal relationships can be governed or dictated to a large degree by our attitude. Talk about the attitude that you have and the viewpoint that you have and that you want to bring to the school board.
So, yeah, I'm a very positive person. I believe positivity attracts positivity. That's very important to me. I'm a glass half full kind of person, and I think that's what makes a big difference. You need to have a positive attitude, and that's what I will definitely bring to the board.
Sometimes there are many people who are willing to run for public office, but not everybody is qualified. And sometimes it's a combination of education, life experience, and understanding of the community and the people that we live and interact with. Tell us about your skill set that you think will be helpful as you ask the citizens of this community for your vote for the school board.
Sure. So I'm not based in education. My education or my working but I am based in laboratory. So what that brings to the table is I have policy building, so I read and write policies. I think that's huge because some people don't even understand policies, right? So these policies will be different than the ones I'm used to. However, I have that background, which is important. Secondary, I'm used to budgeting, and the school board's main purpose is budgeting. I have done 5-year forecasts as a supervisor in a large Chicago laboratory. Not only did I do the budgeting and have to stay within the budgeting in this 5-year forecast, I would have to compete with other departments to get my budgeting approved, to get what I wanted. So while that's a little bit different, the school board doesn't really do that. They kind of budget on the fly as needed, but that's a huge background for me that will be appropriate for this. Also, in the laboratory, as a laboratorian, I'm a troubleshooter, right? I'm a problem solver, which is key, I think, in this type of role. And one of the big things I used to do is if I found something that didn't work, I would bring people together, the appropriate people, right? Aces in the places, and I would get and work through make efficient workflows. So I think, again, that really applies here, to make things more efficient and to use your resources and to work with other people.
As a citizen of this community, one of the most important questions that we face, both past and present, is the proper role of government in our lives. What do you think is the proper role of the education system in the lives of our children?
Okay, so that's another good question, right? I have a master's in organizational leadership. So I have integrity, ethics, communication, and team building, team work. So with that, I understand ethics and integrity and what that means. To me, that means, the school should teach the school curriculum, and the government should kind of the fringe part of that government should stay out of that. And parents should have the right to teach what they feel is appropriate for their kids at home. And so that core curriculum that comes from the public education department, that's what should be taught. And parents may or may not know this, but they have an opportunity to be there when the teachers are picking from the vendors that use the curriculum. And I will tell you that there's a very poor turnout of parents that come to that. So I'd like to see parents get more involved and see what their students are actually learning, and they have an opportunity for feedback there too.
Well, Dawn, it has been a pleasure to have made your introduction to the community here in Edgewood and Moriarty. Certainly a strong voice for candidate on the school board, and I'm hopeful that we'll have future opportunities to talk with you about your candidacy prior to the election.
Thank you so much.